Hello friends, in this section, we will see step-by-step processes to create the workflow with the example of a basic website creation project and how we can map our workflow with the board columns. Friends, it's very important that you will stay with me and follow each and every steps. So don't skip any part of this session. I will explain everything from scratch. So don't worry, let's begin. Okay, so in Jira, workflow is used to track the life cycle of an issue. As you might know, everything in Jira is an issue. So workflow is a record of statuses, transitions, and resolution of an issue during its life cycle. Let's see what is an status, transition, and resolution. So a status represents the stage of an issue at a particular point. An issue can be only one status at a given point of time. So for example, open, to do, done, close, assign. All these are different status. Now other thing is a transition. Now a transition is a link between two statuses when an issue moves from one status to another. So for an issue to move between two status, a transition must exist. So in a simple way, a transition is some kind of work done on that particular issue, while status is the impact of work on that issue. And the third important thing is resolution, the final state. So when a task is finalized and no longer open, it needs a resolution status. So the resolution closes the issue and represent the final state of the piece of work. So for example, done, close, all these are the resolution. I hope this thing is clear. It's very important that you should understand what is state, what is transition, what is resolution. Okay. The other important thing is when you are creating your workflow, you should involve all the different stakeholders. It can be a team, it can be a group of teams, it can be your team members, right? So important thing is you should gather everyone and draw the draft version of the workflow and finalize it. So for example, what are the basic steps in this particular whole process? What steps are done by each group, team, or person? Are any step repeated or loop? For example, review steps or approval, things like that. So gather everyone and create your workflow first on a whiteboard. So we will use this particular workflow in our example. In this particular example, I will show you each and every step, how we can create this particular workflow and how we can map this particular workflow with our project, right? So now let's jump to the Jira board. I will show you how to create the project and then how to create a workflow and then map to the particular project. Hello friends, so just go to Google and type Atlassian and you will get this particular page over here. Just click over here. You will get login details. I already logged in, so just click on login and you can see over here you can continue with the Google account, with your Microsoft and with the Apple. So I already have a Google account, so I'll just click over here and so I already created the account in the past. Once you log in, you will get something like similar sort of. Just click on workflow, work management. You will get this kind of screen. Just create project. Now you have options. You can create your Kanban project, Scrum project, or a bug tracking project. So for this particular demo purpose, we are using Scrum. Click on use this particular template. And now you will get two options, team managed and a company managed. So for this particular example, we are seeing company managed project. Just click over here. Yes. Now you need to add the project name over here. So for example, we are creating website building. You can see you will get the key over here automatically and just click create project. Okay, so this is loading. Yeah. So you will see something like this over here. The purpose of this particular session is to show you how to create the workflow and how to map it. And so we are not going in detail about the backlog and active sprint and all. But then, yeah, you can see over here. These are the by default 3 columns which you will see over here: to do, in progress, and done. But we have a different, if you remember, in a given particular example, we have a different states. We have a scope request, draft, review, publish, and different transitions, right? So we will create those. And after that, you will not going to see all these by default status, right? So now what we have to do, just click over here in settings, and you will see something like issues. Just click on issues, go a little bit down. You can see workflows. Click on workflows. So if you click on workflows, you can see website building, right? Simplified workflow scheme. So this is by default, which is added to this, right? Now let's create a new workflow, because we need a new workflow for our project, not the default one. Okay, so now let's add the workflow. We can give, yeah, website, just an example. We will just create an ad. Okay, so now here you can see by default this open work. This is the by default the very first status which is there. And normally we do with the help of diagram. If you click, you will see the text also. Same thing you can do over here, but this diagram option is pretty easy. So normally we do with the help of this only. Okay, so now let's see. If you remember that particular flow which we have created, so we have something like, let me show you one more time. Okay, so we have something called scope request. Now we need to add the status. If you can see, by default we are getting a lot of statuses. You can create your own status as well, because I have already created this scope request, so it's showing over here by default. But you can always create. You have to just type this, and just for your reference, I will create a scope request 1. It's always advisable not to repeat any of the existing status, just to avoid the confusion. But for the demo purpose, I will just create scope request 1 just for one time. Yeah. So if you need to create a new status, just type over here scope request 1. This is a new one. If you can see, I just added 1, and then it's showing me new status, right? So if you click enter, that's it. You have to just add this new status, and it will add it in this. But for a time being, I will not add it, because the scope request is already created, right? So I'll just cancel it. Okay, so I need to add a status, scope request, just add. So this scope request is added over here, but we don't need this open thing in our actual workflow. If you go back and see the actual workflow, what we are having, we have a scope request as a very first one, right? We don't have anything called open over there. Now the problem is you cannot delete this open status, right? If you want to remove this, it will throw some error. The initial status cannot be deleted, right? So what's the workaround? If you try to map this particular workflow over here, it also will not going to work. So what's the workaround? We will try to add this one with this. So basically open to scope request, and if you remember, the transition is the start work, right? So we'll put start work and add. So now you can see over here we have start work as a transition and then open. Now what we can do, okay, now you can see we have this create with the direct scope request. Now we can remove this. Are you sure you want to remove the status open? Yes. Now we have the this one which we want, right? Now you can see the by default it's create. It's a little difficult if you do with the mouse, but yeah, you can see, right? It's, but yeah. So this is the create a scope request. Now the other one is we want to create the status as draft. So again, we will go add a status. We'll put draft. And now you can see over here, it's coming in blue, right? So it means it's fall under in progress kind of status, right? Over here, you can see it's kind of gray, which is kind of to do kind of thing, right? And this is a draft. Now, what's the transition which we have to do? If you remember, we have to do our start work. That was the transition, right? So let's go and do the transition. A transition scope request to draft, call it as start work, and we'll add. So now we have scope request, we have start work, draft, right? What next? We now need to put a review, the next status. After draft, we will have a review and the transition will be sent for review. So let's add status as review or in review. So review, let's review. Because review was not there, you can see, right? Now it's asking for the category, so we will just put under in progress and we'll create. So now we have a review also with us. Now we have to do the transition from draft to review. So what we'll do, we'll click on draft, add transition, draft to review. And what's the name which we want to put? Send for review. That's the name we want to put, send for review. Just click and over here. Now you can see we have a one-way transition, send for review. But if you remember the old status, we have one more transition from review to draft backward. So that also we want to do, right? So now click on review and do the add transition. Now from review, we want to move back to the draft one. And this time the transition name is update draft. So just type over here update draft and add. Now you can see over here we have two-way transition. So from draft you can move your issues to review, and from review you can again move your issues back to the draft. So this is what we have created. Now what is our final step? That is we want to now publish. That was the final status, right? So let's add status, publish, and then what's the transition? Publish to where? So after review, we want to just publish. And again, you can see new status. Click add. It will ask whether it's a to do, in progress, or done. So in this case, it's done. So we click done. So this is our published. You can do whatever you want to do. Now again, from review to publish, we need to add a transition. So from review to publish, and what's the name of the transition? Publish to web. And so this is how our final workflow looks like. This is what exactly we need, right? So this is exactly we need. Okay. Now you can see it's inactive over here right now, right? Now we need to add this particular workflow to our project. So what we'll do, we'll go to projects, website building. Go to project settings and click on workflows. Now over here, you can see this is the by default one, right? Now we want to add the workflow, add existing. And if you see, we have to find, it will be below somewhere, website, right? This is the one which we have created. Yeah, exactly. Click on next and just give it to everyone. You will see why we are doing this. Right now you have to see publish, discard draft, right? So we want to publish this. Okay, and the other step is there are no issues. Yeah, so our project is blank. We don't have any user stories and something like that. So this is because we are creating it first time. And the second step, we need to click on associate. So this is now, this particular workflow is now attached to our project, right? Let's go back to project. Now over here, you can see still those workflows are not mapped with our columns. So we need to add those workflows with our columns. So click over here, board settings. Okay, over here, click on columns. Now over here, you can see, right, this to do, in progress, done, and you can see unmapped status. So we need to map all these statuses with this one, right? So what we can do, just these are the by default one. It will now throw an error that, yeah, at least one particular status has to be mapped with this. That's okay, just ignore for a time being. Now, if you remember, what are the different states we have? We have scope request, the very first one. So just click over here, do the scope request. Just it will throw like this. And if you remember scope request, what we have, just go over there. You will see scope request over here, right? Just drag it over here. That's it. Yeah. And the other one is the draft one. So just rename this in progress to the draft one. Click. And if you see, we have this draft one. Click over here. Then we have a review. Just click over here, put review. And this is a review. And now we want to add one more, right? You remember we have one more. So publish one, right? So just again click over here, put publish, and this is a publish, and you can move this over here because our publish into that fourth state, right? So this is how it, now we have mapped our workflow with the columns, right? I hope this is clear. Just go back and follow the steps if you have missed anything. Yeah, now if you don't have any active sprint, but then let's see the project. So yeah, you can see over here, right? Now our columns are mapped in our workflow. Now you have to just create your backlog, make it active. Yeah, over here you can create your user stories. Let's say demo user story for website 1. Let's create it. You have to create a sprint. Plan your sprint, so add dates. Create your sprint. Start date. Let's say today is what, 5th. It's 2 weeks, so 19, and just create. Give points over here. And nothing is assigned. Story point, just give, say, 2. I'm just doing it really quick. If you have time, you have to just fill it properly. Let's say 5. Okay. Okay, so now we have a backlog, we have our sprint. Now we have to make it active. So let's drag our user stories to our active sprint and just click on start sprint. Yeah, so just click start. Okay, so now you can see our scope request. We have this 2 user stories which we created over here. Now one interesting thing which I want to showcase over here, you can move, you can see, right? We can move our scope request to the draft, right? You can see the status from scope request to draft. Now, if you want to move this back, it won't work, right? Something is not letting us move to scope request. You remember our workflow is one way from scope request to draft. But if we move from draft to review, it will allow. And now if you want to move it back, see, it's allowing you to move it back, because you remember we have a two-way workflow from a draft to review and from review to draft. I hope it's clear, right? And if you once take it from review to publish, that's it. This is now in a way done. Now it will not take it back. Same error will come, right? I hope this is pretty clear by now. So this is our part 1 of this section. Let's move on to the second section.